No,
Hey, I love your show.
I don't have a show.
I watch on.
I like you
too. Okay.
You'll be looking at yet another felony. We're not asking for much, man. All we want our streets to be safe. Here, we have a second DWI and a crash. What's it going to take? Kill someone? You know? Do you want to end up with a 50-year sentence? Next time you ever get into a car, so if they pull you over, they see the DWI, FSGI, DWI, possession.
Hello. Your Honor.
Jason Fisher, right? Okay. So, Mr. Fisher, you're charged with two cases. You're charged with driving while intoxicated. Second offense, you're also charged with failure to stop and give information. You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 180 days in jail with 72 days credit on the DWI second, and they're going to dismiss, I would assume, the FSGI.
And there's a kind of felony that was keeping him in keeping him in custody.
Got it. Is this what you want to do?
Yes.
You need to understand, Mr. Fisher, that from now on, if you pick up any more DWIs, you'll be looking at yet another felony. We're not asking for much, man. All we want our streets to be safe. Here, we have a second DWI and a crash. What's it going to take? Kill someone? You know? Do you want to end up with a 50-year sentence? Next time you ever get into a car and you get pulled over, all officers do is they look at your record, and that's all they care about. So if they pull you over, they see the DWI, FSGI, DWI, possession, and they come to you and they smell alcohol or dope. What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to be nice? Probably not. Don't get into a car if you've had anything to drink. You understand? Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. This will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. You can never take it off. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated, second offense? I will find you guilty. I am going to suspend your license for 2 years. Do not drive until you get a license. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck.
Think that's fine? Think it's fine?
We are approaching on Mr. Avalar.
Thank you. Okay,
And I believe defense wanted to ask about bond conditions, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor. So yesterday, I believe you gave him a $5,000 bond. He picked up a big offense for violating bond conditions. Your Honor, it turns out that the facts are that he had stayed away. The woman who he was in this issue with, her house caught on fire, burned to the ground. She called him, asking for assistance. He said, "Hey, I don't know. I don't think I can be talking to you." And then 2 days later, she got into a car accident where her vehicle was totaled. And she said, "Please, I have nowhere to go. Can you help?" He said, "Look, I'll help you find some place to go and I'll drive you there." And that's it. In the midst of driving her there, he was pulled over for no registration.
calls Murphy's Law is what it's
And
called.
she said, "I've got bad juju."
You know?
The state confirmed all this.
Yes, Judge. So,
Go ahead and bring it out, bring him out. Avalar.
Judge, the prosecutor on the case did call the complainant. She pretty much gave nearly the exact same story of her apartment burned down. She was just trying to get a ride. They have not had contact up until this point. So we are not ready to offer a plea today because it is a new case.
Sure.
But we are okay with the PR bond at this point, just given the circumstances and the facts.
What do we do about conditions?
Conditions, we would still like to keep that no contact in place. It seems like they didn't have an issue up until this point with it. So we would just reinstate that no contact.
I will ask for a short reset, Your Honor, but from speaking with the CW, she communicated to me that the whole thing was a misunderstanding. She feels safe around him, and honestly, she'd like for them to be able to have contact. The way she communicated to me, the initial situation was they were arguing, a police officer was coming by, so she flagged him down so she could stay away from him. And then while talking to the officer, she showed him like, look at this message. You say he's gonna do this to me. But that's in the course of how they normally communicate to each other. And she didn't feel afraid. The officer just took it to that next.
How about the assault we talking, happened in the assault?
So Judge, I believe the case for us right now is a terroristic threat. So we're just looking at the terroristic threat
20.
charge.
Jail.
Tiring.
Sucks, right? It's supposed to suck. That's what happens when you don't do what you're supposed to do. You can't do stuff on your own and think that good things are going to happen. It's what I was telling your lawyer. It's called Murphy's Law. What can happen will happen. I get that you may be trying to help someone, but a court order is a court order. And when you don't follow them, bad things happen. And that's why I'm saying, you know, I mean, maybe it's divine intervention that like you get pulled over right on the day that you're trying to do this. So really. Now, both of them are in agreement for you to get a PR bond because really, it's not a capital case. But you have to understand that court orders are court orders and they're still there. If you want them taken off, if you want to do something different, you have a lawyer and you ask a lawyer to help you out, but you just can't do stuff on your own and expect good things to happen. Now, state is still asking for you not to have contact with this person and as of right now. I'm going to give you a PR bond now because they're both in agreement. I'm telling you now, you do this again, you will not get another one. I promise you on everything that's holy. Do you understand? If you want something, ask. We can always address it. We can always fix it. Just don't do stuff on your own. That's when it goes sideways.
Sir.
Any questions? Okay, so I'll grant you a PR bond. We need it on both cases, I think, right? So do you mind filing a new no contact order now? No weapons, no contact. Don't for the moment. Perhaps time will heal all wounds. Perhaps after some time, you know, after she speaks to the complaining witness, things can change. Just don't do it again. All right?
Judge, I
Okay.
believe there is a order for emergency protection in your queue. It was filed the 30th, so it should be in there. Do you want me to file another one?
It's 255-1405. That's the initial terroristic threat.
Yes, there was a protection order signed on February 13th.
And then
You okay with that?
he's made bond.
Okay, done.
Made bond on the BPO already.
Oh, right. So we'll just leave, and I didn't do anything to the VPO. So we'll just give a PR bond on the terroristic threat.
Reinstate the PR bond.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And so just a reinstatement on the.
Whatever's easier.
Okay.
Are we good? Okay.
Thank you.
So hold on, let me take, okay, we're good. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Good to see you.
I know, good to see you.
Been a
too.
while,
I
huh?
know.
We sent him for a test.
Yes.
Yes, judges presented for morphine.
Morphine.
Judge, he broke his arm and he's on Tylenol with codeine and he got out of the hospital March 28th and they had also given him stuff there. And we do have a prescription. So I don't want you to be upset about that. You can be upset about other things, but not that.
How long? Because they don't give that very much now at all, if ever. Are they giving these kind of, so I'm going to test you like crazy to ensure that you're not using. I'd like a copy of the prescription. I want to know how many pills there are so that we know how long he's taking it. Because if he's testing positive for weeks upon weeks, then it's unacceptable. If I find that you're using, if I find that you're using alcohol, if I find that you're a danger to my community, I only have one place for you. Do you understand? I will do everything in my power to protect my community at all costs. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. Do you understand? So he gets tested weekly from now on so that we know how much he's using. You have a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with her. If she tells me she can't get a hold of you because you're playing games or you pick up a new case, you're not allowed to drive. Do you understand? If I find that you drive, that would be the absolute worst, and you're looking at a possible contempt charge. You understand? Okay?
Judge, if I could ask one thing, I wasn't here for bond conditions and there's got an ankle monitor.
So, right. Gave him a scram, so he's not using alcohol. I put a GPS on him, so he's not out in the middle of the night. Because I don't want him out in the middle of the night as well.
Okay, so it was just, he works and he works at a mall and he sometimes closes at 9. So it's just
Okay.
9 to 6. I was just saying, could we make it 10? Because if you
Okay.
close, okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Judge.
Good luck.
For the same charge out of Florida, and he is a cancer patient, and he's wanting you to grant him a PR bond so he can go back to Florida.
That's where I was heading.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it just so happened that you
No,
you
sir.
got a failure ID as well.
That's the failure ID was, they pulled a gun on the guy they were looking for and I was at the crosswalk. I wasn't there. They weren't stopping me. They stopped another guy that they were waiting for 3 days or whatever to get him. And then yes, sir.
It doesn't matter.
This is not our first time being here on this case, Amy,
He's previously had a fugitive case in Tennessee for this.
for this same charge.
Well, just a fugitive case in general. I can't say.
So that was in Tennessee. Now he's wanted out of Florida.
No. He had this exact same proceeding in Tennessee.
Meaning he was a fugitive in Tennessee because of Florida.
Yes, he was incarcerated in Tennessee and had a hold on him from Florida. They chose not to extradite him at that particular time, and he was released 3 or 4 days there.
How long ago was that?
How long ago was that, sir?
5, 6 years ago.
And after 5 to 6 years ago, you still haven't taken care of the case.
That was during pre-COVID and we were coming back from Michigan and we were on our way down and we stopped in Tennessee. I started working at the hotel and they came in and they said, out of the clear blue, looks like you got a warrant. And I go, what? Okay, so they took me in, they ran everything, they held me for 3 days and they let me loose. There was no new charges or nothing.
What's he wanted for?
It's domestic violence.
In Florida, he's wanted for a couple different warrants on bond revocation for domestic battery by strangulation, violation of pretrial for domestic battery, violation of pretrial for domestic battery by strangulation, failure to appear for domestic battery, strangulation, and grant that.
That was back in
And it's been open for 5
12 years.
and you still won't go back?
No, we were gonna go back. That was the whole thing. I was in
The
Florida.
only thing I'm waiting for you to say is that you were abducted by aliens that prevented you
I'm
from.
not gonna lie to you, sir, but we were going back. When COVID hit, actually, I was in Florida. That's where we went from Michigan to Tennessee, then Tennessee down to Florida during the pre-COVID. And we were in, I think Pensacola. And we were there for like 3 months and we were waiting for the COVID to go, to stop, but it just didn't end. So I ended up talking to a gentleman that had plenty of work for me across the country to go to all of his hotel properties to fix them and find out why they were failing, why were they not making any money and what was going on. So that's what I've been doing.
Does Florida really want him? Are they gonna come get him? Are we just playing games here? You know, because if they really want to get him, I'm gonna hold him. But if they're not gonna come get him, then I'm not gonna hold him. We have enough people in our jail as it is. So let's do this. The problem is, Mr. Nelson, you don't learn your lesson. You've repeatedly been arrested on this charge and they've told you to go back and you refuse to go back. So I can't, in good conscience, give you a bond when you refuse to comply with
Sure.
court orders.
I
You
understand
just
that.
don't want to do it. You want to do what you want to do. And then,
No.
hey, if I happen to get arrested, they're not going to come get me anyways. So
No, I don't say that at all.
you don't say it,
Right,
but your actions say
I
something
understand.
different.
I understand that. I do.
When people tell you stuff, it goes in this here, it goes in, what
I know.
matters are actions.
I understand.
So
With regards to Florida, I'm happy to check up on that. He does also have other warrants from other states. He has a probation violation from Michigan and also
What?
intimidation.
They're not coming.
scotching with states, man.
Oh, they already told the jail, they already made the call, they're not coming, they don't want nothing to do with me. That's already been
They don't
determined.
have a hold file right now, but he does have the other warrants.
And those are from 2009. And I served my time on all of it, but it's just,
So
I
let's do
understand.
this. Let's roll it to tomorrow. Please reach out to Florida and see, do you really want him? If you do, here he is. If not, can we, really?
We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you.
So much, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Nelson.
Hey, I love your show.
I don't have a show.
I watch on.
I like you too.
Oh, okay.
Superstar.